Hey everybody, and welcome to the Inferno Cast, episode number 61. I am Fox, host of this podcast and of YouTube's Inferno Fox Gaming channel. Inferno Fox Gaming has content regarding RPGs, Nintendo, retro gaming, and more. And the Inferno Cast is here also on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and more. Friendly reminder to moderate video game playing, touch grass, and help your partner, spouse, or roommates around the house. We
No.
have joining us my fantastic cast and crew. First, we have Simbu Darkfang. He is the host of live streaming video games gameplay on the Scurry Face channel on Twitch. And also, just as a friendly reminder, the SFWF returns November 10th. So make sure to check that out on Scurryface. Also, November 17th at 6 p.m. Central Time, there will be Scurryface versus RPW, which will be a special event of all special events. Simbu, A, thank you so much for joining us. And two, what did I miss?
So you got SFWF Homecoming. This is the flagship show for each new season of the Scary Face Wrestling Federation. The SF versus RPW is still being finalized right now. I have a few things to still work out with the owner of RPW, or one of the three owners of RPW, I should say, who's going to be a guest on the show. However, nothing I really can talk about just too much yet, but I should have something within the next week or so.
Awesome. And we are definitely looking forward to that. Again, make sure you check that out for some fun live gameplay as well as some really good conducting of the whole thing that Simbu does. And he'll be joined by a special guest on that. Things are still being worked out, but definitely some fun things coming. And it's definitely going to be a really good time. The link for Scurryface will be in the description below. So thank you so much, as always, for joining us, Mr. Simbu.
Yeah.
And also joining us is Jamie Owls 87, my partner and partner in crime. Jamie Owls, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here on this Tuesday night. Halloween is almost here, and it makes me a little sad because October is my favorite month and it's going by too fast. Sad panda.
Oh, yeah, it's been a good month though. Nice and for
Hmm.
me, it's been happy because it's been nice and warm for us here in northern Illinois in Chicagoland. So yay for that. We
Boo.
poor
Uh-huh.
Simba
Agreed.
and Jamie Owls, they don't like the warm weather. I'll take it.
I want cold.
Um, Also joining us, speaking of cold, Jason the 13th of the YouTube channel Jason the 13th. Jason, murder anybody lately? I mean,
Yeah,
thanks for joining
apparently
us.
apparently my own channel. Since I haven't been able to get any videos recorded for it at all. So
Oh man,
need to
you gotta get
I
on
need
that.
to get back onto it and start doing something. Maybe start up with a new game or go back to the shiny hunting. We'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun to catch your live and recorded gameplays to sort of like one of those cozy things,
Hmm.
and you do a good job of just kind of talking it through. And yeah, also joining us is Stormrosesky of the Twitch and YouTube channels of Stormrosesky. Storm, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad not to be talking to a bunch of 7-year-olds today.
Now you get to
After,
talk to the rest of us 7-year-olds at heart.
yes, yes, but there's a big difference, and it's quiet. So it's great to be here, and I wanted to say, unfortunately, my YouTube channel is taking a back seat right now because I am teaching full time until December. So
Ooh.
yeah, I'm looking forward to Christmas break already, but it is taking everything out of me. So doing anything creative for my YouTube channel is like it's just not going to happen right now. So
Oh no, I
it's
definitely
the nature of the
understand
beast.
that. So. And of course, we normally are also joined with Astrimedes, developer of co-owner of Second Place Games, as well as Hillbilly Hardicus, but they have the night off. So we are going to start our discussion with a pre-discussion topic, and that's going to be asking, what was the most recent horror movie or TV show that you've seen? And Jason the 13th, you're going to be our first unlucky victim.
Why
Let
is
us
this
know.
unlucky? Uh, Us that love the horror franchises, this is not unlucky at all. But it would have been Saw X, which I just recently picked up. I have all the other Saws. I still have not seen this one. It is the only one I haven't seen. But since I haven't gotten to watch it yet, the most recent TV show I've watched was Destinations of the Damned with Zach Bagans.
Oh,
Uh, Watched it on Discovery Plus. That was actually quite interesting. It's not the normal ghost adventures show where it's Zach and his team out ghost hunting. He actually sends out some of his producer and a couple of his crew guys, and they go to locations and they learn all about the history of these dark locations.
Hmm.
And there's some really good episodes.
So is it kind of like what is that Destination X,
Kinda, yeah.
where what Josh sends his people out and they go
Yes.
like
Yeah. Yep, because
except
it's not,
dark history.
there's none of your normal Zach, Aaron, or Billy or Jay that are there. It's all just side crew that are going and learning all about the history.
God, I'm so old. I remember the days when it was Zach, Aaron, and Nick.
Aaron and
Mhm.
Nick, and there, and it was just the three of them. But no, they've got a couple of cool. I wish I could remember the names of some of the places, but they go to one in South America that was the town was destroyed by a mudslide from a volcano eruption, and they deal with all that. They go to the one graveyard in Africa that is literally it's supposed to be haunted by a vampire that feeds on the old corpses there, and there's a couple of insane episodes.
Very cool. Sounds like
And the
a
name of that
perfectly
show
spooky.
was
Destinations of the Damned with Zach Bagans.
Nice. Sounds perfectly morbid and
Yeah,
good
perfect
history
for the
to have.
Halloween season. Yeah.
It reminds me of another show that was on Netflix called Dark Tourist, and
Yes.
I
It's been a
loved
long
that
time since I've
series.
seen that one. Yep,
That was a
that
good
was
one.
too short of a series though.
it was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It needed more, and it still needs more. Who knows if we'll ever get more? But for those of you who don't know, is a guy from New Zealand who went to dark, um, mysterious places. Like he went to New Orleans to meet New Orleans vampires, and what else did he do? Like visited the hill where JFK got shot. So like those type of touristy things. It was really neat.
Very cool. Jamie Ellis, you got more TV that you can watch.
Yay.
And speaking of which, Jamie Owls, what was the most recent horror movie or TV show that you've seen?
TV shows, I haven't really been watching any horror related shows. However, I've been watching mostly movies, and I've been kind of taking a break from like the actual scary movies, and I moved on to cutesy ones. But the last horror movie I saw on TV was the first Evil Dead. And that's,
Uh, oh, I'm sorry. Ignore me.
yeah, Evil Dead with what's his name?
Bruce
Bruce.
Campbell?
Yes, Bruce Campbell. So, yeah, that's the last one. And currently I'm watching Teen Witch, so something a little light, and then I'll probably move on to like more scary stuff.
Nice. And you are of course in the middle of playing Silent Hill 2, so that's
Yeah,
plenty scary.
that is. That is.
Simbu, how about you? What's the most recent horror movie or TV show that you've seen?
Well, speaking of the almighty Bruce Campbell, Medusa and I have started watching Hysteria on Peacock, set in 1989, so the tail end of the quote unquote satanic panic. and it basically kind of follows this town. It kind of follows the town around, centers around this like band that ends up becoming a cult, and then the whole Bo Jazz from Satanic Panic. For those of you who don't know what Satanic Panic is, because it's not really taught very much in schools, um, akin it, I would compare it to the Salem witch trials. Uh, as would be as a best comparison for that, Satanic Panic, because it was like everything, blaming people for everything. Everybody's satanic, rock is satanic, everything is, everyone's possessed by the devil or a demon. And Salem witch trials, everybody's a witch because I stubbed my toe, so Jamie Owls is a witch because of that.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's the it's an interesting history to definitely behold the whole Salem witch
Fun.
trials, Satanic Panic, all of that. Makes me think of Stranger Things, actually, because I think there was a little bit of that Satanic Panic Bo Jazz that went into, what was that, the
Oh yeah,
latest
the
season or
fourth
something?
season. Yeah.
Yeah, Hellfire Club.
Mm-hmm.
Because that guy is based on a true Eddie is based on Damien Eccles, part of the West Memphis Three, who were convicted and later got released. They were wrongly convicted for murder in around that time, and that was led to the some of their satanic panic. I know a whole bunch about the West Memphis Three,
Ah.
so that's a different tangent for a different day.
Nice. But if you want to be on a tangent, go ahead and let us know your tangent of the most recent horror movie or TV show you've seen.
Okay, the most recent thing that I watched, let's see. Like it was kind of cutesy. Transylvania 65000. It's an old 80s movie with Ed Begley Jr. and Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. They all travel to Transylvania and try to prove Frankenstein's real and whatnot. But
Ooh.
uh, a horror movie that I watched and I kind of fell in love with that is Terrifier. I watched Terrifier and
Oh,
Terrifier 2.
I need to watch those from the
Um,
last one of our last
yeah,
podcasts. We compared it to Saws, and I love the Saw movies, so I need to find these Terrorizer movies and watch them.
the Amazon Prime has them both, or
Ooh,
Tubi has at least the first one.
all right, cool.
Um, Art the Clown reminds me of Jason, not this Jason, but
Mm.
Jason of Friday. Well, Jason.
The good
Because
Jason.
Yeah,
yes,
Voorhees.
yes, he's more of he kills without gameplay. Like he does things that are gamey to him, but there's no vote. He doesn't speak. I'm not try not to give everything away, but he just goes for the kill, kind of like Jason does, where Freddy and like Billy and Saw or whatever, they play like Ghostface. They play with their victims a bit more than
Yep.
Jason and Art do. And I surprisingly really enjoyed them. A couple of parts made me laugh, which, makes me worry about me. But um, at the same time, I could understand why that's been the number one film over the weekend because people want to see what they can do. And for an indie horror movie to go neener neener, we're number one is great for the industry because we needed a new slasher, and I think Art is going to be up there with the big five. He's really good, and the movies were surprisingly good, bloody, and I tell you what, they deserve awards um for like their production and their makeup and the special effects because nothing is CGI. It's all, was all made
Practical.
by them, and it's wow. Some of the things is like, ooh, 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 it's a bit gross and nasty, but very well done. So I'm glad to see that it's doing all right. And I do want to see the third one. I don't know if I'm gonna get to the theater to see it, but as soon as it comes out on anything, I will give it a watch and not sleep on it anymore because I do have to watch All Hallows Eve, which apparently was the start of Art the Clown. So I have to catch that one. But I do recommend the first two Terrifiers. They're bloody, gory, brutal. They're a little
Mhm.
violent, but it is what it is for slasher films, but it was enjoyable.
I do enjoy all the memes and whatnot with Art to Come.
Yeah.
I think those are fun.
Yes,
I like those.
yes. Well,
That's
there you go. You're
that's
safe
about
with
That's
those.
at least I'll do. Just the memes. I've heard a
That's
lot
okay.
about it.
Yeah, I can
Little,
tell you more offline if you want to know some of the scenes, but I don't want to give it away.
Oh, it's
no.
okay. You could text me.
I will.
I'm
There's
more curious.
Yeah, there's one of his kills that just it made me laugh and go, ooh. I was laughing and
Yeah.
oohing at the same time. So, well, I'll tell you about it over text.
Yeah, I think the one of the last ones that I willingly was watching was The Shining, and I've never seen The Shining, and watching like 30 minutes of it, I was just laughing my butt off because it was just so bad.
Okay, The
So
Shining is a different kind of horror, though.
Yes.
yeah, bad
It's
horror.
suspenseful.
psychological.
Yep, it is
Nope.
definitely in the psychological.
Oh my gosh, it's probably a thing where a lot of the 80s stuff just have not aged well, and just some I think I'm not a Jack Nicholson fan. I think he's a little overdone, a little overwrought, and he really hams that up. So not a fan, but I'm
Uh,
saying that as somebody who's not a fan of horror. So I am well equipped to not talk about any of this because you guys are the sous chef of the horror world, whereas I'm ordering at McDonald's. What can I say that
you
You
know.
mean Jay Meows hasn't gotten you to sit down and watch anything?
as much as Storm has for her husband,
He has watched. That had been my Christmas present a couple
Jaws.
of times, actually. Jaws was the first one, and it was like
Ooh,
Jaws is not horror. I
no.
don't care. It's really not. Friday the 13th, he's made it through. But after watching The Boys on Amazon, I told him, you know what? You can't bitch about any horror. You've watched
No,
this.
not the boys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've made it through this. You can watch Freddy and Jason because, I though I did while I was watching Terrifier, I told him absolutely not. I wanted to screen it first before I brought him into it, but there was one scene I was like, yeah, guess what? You've watched Homelander do something similar in The Boys. This is, nothing. So he's
Hmm.
kind of grown up out of that. And one more thing about The Shining, do you know Stephen King did not like the first or the Shining movie? That's why it was remade to be closer to the book version later in
Was that
the
the Doctor Sleep movie, or that's a sequel?
that is a
Prequel, isn't it?
sequel.
Or is
Prequel.
it a sequel?
It's
That was a prequel.
I think it's a sequel because it's when what's his name Danny grows up, the boy grows up.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yep, yep.
You're
So
right.
he did not like the one with Jack Nicholson, and that's why we got the made for TV something or other years and years ago now, because he wasn't a fan of what they did. So here
I'm
we
surprised
are.
he even remembers what he wrote. Wasn't that one of the many books that he wrote when he was on all that cocaine?
It
Probably.
probably helped him, get close to that character.
Oh man. As I'm demonetizing myself by saying the C word, let's adjourn to our main topic, and that, of course, is the sort of choose your own adventure style games of Until Dawn, The Quarry, and Dark Pictures Anthology. The last series encompasses the games Man of Medan, Little Hope, House of Asses, and The Devil in Me. We've touched upon
Ashes.
these games before on this channel, but what better way to celebrate the spookiest of months by talking about them? One thing to note is that, like last week's Resident Evil cast, I have little to no experience with these games. I'm relying on the excellent cast and crew here. These games are all available on current PlayStation and Xbox systems, as well as PC Steam. Each of these titles sees the player introduced to a myriad of characters in a variety of settings, with each and every one of them having some sort of supernatural element. They often personify everything that is horror. So don't get into these games if you have a weak stomach. If you love the genre and are a fan of horror movies, go for these games. I absolutely recommend them, and they are often found on sale whenever digital storefronts have major sales, and oftentimes the physical copies of them go on sale too. But enough waffling with that. Let's jump right in. 2015's Until Dawn, and I'll just right away the big question: why is Until Dawn the best out of all of these survival horror genre video games? Jamie Owls, go.
Uh, for me personally, when I first played it, it was the first type of game where you choose your own adventure, which that was the part that excites me. And then the second part, of course, it's like like a horror type uh game, which also to me is a lot of fun. I know some people find it weird that it sometimes can be fun to get scared. I just like the foreshadowing and the suspense, but I will have to say this is like the first game that I played where it kept wanting me to continue playing. I played a lot of games in the past where I would spend at least an hour or two on them, but this one really just makes me want to play all single day. I didn't want to do anything else. I think it's just exciting with each level. Um, it just makes you want to keep playing more, and there's a lot of surprises that happen. Also, too, with Until Dawn, it introduced the Wendigo, which is a folklore. For me personally, I never heard of a Wendigo before, and just to play a game where it kind of gives you like an education about like different monsters or folklore around like the certain area where the game or story is taking place. I just find it interesting and a lot of fun because it introduced you to different like type of creatures that you never heard before. Um, I just thought it was a lot of fun. A lot of the characters were fun, and it's just, really cool to play a game to where you can choose your own adventure and then the different outcomes in the end. Um, I look forward to playing it again, so it's definitely on my list of games to play again, which I don't know when, but maybe soon. I don't know.
And Simbu, how about you? Why is Until Dawn the best out of these survival horror genre video games? These choose your own adventure ones.
So, so far, Jamie Ellis has hit a number of fantastic points. One of them, one of the best being the fact that they use a creature of mythology or folklore that no horror has used before up until this point. Well, mainstream horror, I'm sure you've seen it in books and they've used it in things like that, but in mainstream you've never seen a Wendigo. When you talk horror, it's always some crazed killer in a mask, or it's some evil demon or a spirit, or something like that. So to branch out into something like OKWTF was a fantastic go. Um, One, the game is about, I'd say probably around an 8 to 9 hour game, which is fantastic. It has a very high replay value as I sit here holding my original physical copy of Until Dawn. But the biggest thing for me was that, one, the game was developed on an engine that was specifically designed for the PS4. It wasn't designed for Unreal. It wasn't designed, designed like Unreal is, or any of the other ones, or Unity or whatever, that are designed to dev on multiple systems and multiple platforms. The engine they used for Until Dawn was developed specifically for the PS4 hardware. So if you look in comparison from Until Dawn and Man of Medan, everything looks crisper. It's higher detail in the facial movements, in the skin textures and things like that, which is just a fantastic thing. The other big point that I want to hit on is the fact that you care about every single person in this damn game.
Yeah.
All the other ones going forward, you kind of pick and choose a couple of them, like, oh, I really care about this person, or, yeah, I really hate this person. I hope they die. With Until Dawn being a group of friends, having tragically, witnessed, the death of, their friend, their friends, or not really witnessing, but being there when it happened, and then their brother bringing everybody back together for a send off to him 1 year later. There's an air of like closeness to everybody, to where like every character in the game tends to make you feel something. Like Jessica, for example. Oh my God, I want that to die. Just die already. I hate you. Emily, God, shut up. You're annoying.
I'm too nice.
Mike. Mike, you're a douchebag. Come on now. But again, it was a group of friends, and you can tell in the way that they wrote the game and the way they wrote the scripts and everything like that, that they had that in mind, as to where when it comes to like Man of Medan or House of Ashes, specifically, they're soldiers. Yeah, in House of Ashes, we'll get into that a little later, but there's some connection between a lot of the characters, but for the most part, it's just kind of meh. And like I said, I'll go into that a little bit more later on in detail of what the differences are, in my opinion. But, again, you felt, like I said, I felt the connection to each character, whether I wanted them to live, die, or, oh my God, just shut up and quit whining.
Oh my God, it's too funny. Now, are you interested in playing the remake that just released?
For $60, absolutely not.
What
Mhm.
price? Name the price.
$10, because
That's
I
fair.
have my physical copy right here, and just like God of War Ragnarok, I was given the option for the PS5 upgrade for $10. Same with Horizon Forbidden West. I
And
feel
Ghost
that
of
a game
Tsushima.
like this, yeah, I feel games like this, they should have been a 10, maybe 20. If it was 20, I might bite, but you're coming out for a what, 10-year old game or so. You're coming out swinging with new game prices.
Yeah.
Come on.
Again,
Not,
oh, sorry, Jamie else.
No, I agree because it's for me personally, there was no reason why they had to come out with a remake and to sell it for $70. No, I already have my PS4 copy that works fine. So,
And let's be honest, it's Moore's Law. The PS4 version looks fantastic.
hmm
Even though it's only 9 years old,
Yes.
like that was one of the games that really I felt made the PS4 in regards to like graphics, storytelling, gameplay, insofar as and being able to portray that whole horror ambiance and that true fear when you are holding the controller in your hand. It's and when you're going to react, and literally sometimes not just being able to hold your controller, and
don't move.
if you're doing something like this, if you're watching me on YouTube, you're seeing my hand shake. That shaking could set off the Wendigo and
hmm
kill poor what is it? Haley, penetrate me.
Sam.
So you don't want to you don't want to do that. You don't want to kill these poor. Although, speaking of which, Hayden, that's it. Hayden, penetrate me. So
Hayden
she
Panettiere.
apparently is one of the additional endings in the remake that is hinting at Until Dawn 2. So if you want to see the additional ending, you got to pay the $60. You can't go on YouTube and just watch it online. No, you don't want to do
Oh, I'm sure I'll find it. Give it some
I,
time. I'm sure somebody will post it.
I think we just figured out why they remade the game.
that.
More
um,
Hayden.
No, just to add the extra ending so they can make a sequel to it.
hmm
that's lucrative. You know how Sony is with the remakes. Uh, Jason, your thoughts on why Until Dawn's the best of them all, and are you interested in the remake?
Because it's the only one that got a movie deal, of course.
Oh, that's true. That's right. It's just like Horizon, it's a remake after a couple years and a movie deal.
Yeah, really.
Until Dawn Lego is next. Until Dawn Lego. That's right.
That'd be hilarious, actually.
I would buy that.
But I You know, I know I never finished Until Dawn, and I probably played the least of it out of all of them. So I don't know all the storyline and if the story was good enough to be the best one. But like Simbu said, with the engine they used to make the game, it looks so much better than the like Man of Medan and stuff like that. That the graphics went down because they changed the engine so they could put it on every system instead of just focusing on that one system. So look wise, graphic wise, it is by far the best one.
Yeah, that's fair, and it's interesting. I just a very quick Google, very quick Google. The OG Until Dawn was on the Decima engine. Killzone Shadowfall was also on it, as well as Horizon Zero Dawn, Death Stranding,
Ha!
the Horizon sequel, and the most important game coming up, Death Stranding 2. So yeah, there you are. Good,
And as
good.
for your second question, yes, I would actually like to play the remake, but like the Simbu and Jamie Owls, I technically have a copy of Until Dawn, so I really don't need to spend the $60-$70 for a brand new copy of it.
I have
Gosh.
it digitally and physically.
It would be interesting to get to be able to play it to see what the differences, if there's any differences in like graphics or if they changed anything in the storylines. I mean, again, like you
I'll
said,
watch it
they're
on
adding
Twitch.
in extra endings, so that's one thing, of course.
Yeah, it definitely has me curious as to if they're really gonna end up leading off with an Until Dawn sequel and what that's gonna be, if that's gonna continue Wendigos or what, I don't know. And I've heard that Hayden Penetrate Me is in on and off rehab, so
No,
I don't know if she really will be the next character, if they're just gonna replace her with another actress, which
probably
um
replace her.
Probably Sydney Sweeney. I mean, she's probably this decade's Hayden
Please,
Penetrate Me.
if anybody from if anybody from the dev team is ever listens to this, please don't. If you do Until Dawn 2, brand new story, brand new characters. Do not go with the Wendigos again. Please leave this the masterpiece that it was.
Yeah, do another sort of like Native American type of uh
Or
supernatural threat.
Japanese or something like that. Japanese with the 8 foot woman, po. Use her. I mean, come on, let's go to other countries. All you have to do is survive until dawn.
That is true.
Um, Storm, have you seen Until Dawn at all? Were you interested in playing that?
The bits of experience I've had until dawn have been more recently, and that's watching Simbu's stream of the game the last 2 Sundays. So that's been my experience with it. Jamie Owls makes me want to try it out myself, and maybe it's going to go on my to
Yes.
play in the future category because it sounds fun and it does
Uh-huh.
look fun. I've enjoyed Simbu's playthrough, so it's a different experience watching someone play and actually playing it yourself.
Oh
So
yeah.
maybe in the future I will add that. I would like to add that to a list, and we'll just watch that price because for the remake, well, that's a brand new game to me either way. So $60 games right now are just I'm waiting till Black Friday
Mhm.
sales. And maybe, the buy one get one freeze. So those sales are awfully nice and help me build my video game catalog as I'm slowly going. And that's the fun part of just getting into gaming later in life and, such. My backlog is now huge. Because there's so many things to catch up on, and it's never ending because new things come out, and then there are old things that you guys have played and talked about that I really want to try out. But there's a difference when you have a system that can handle it, and all of that jazz. So the short and sweet answer is my experience with Until Dawn is because of Simbu's stream, which everyone should check out because it's fun and The game looks cool and sounds fun.
Yeah,
I'll give it
I
a whirl.
finished Until Dawn. I finished Until Dawn on Sunday.
Woohoo!
The final couple the final like what chapter and a half I think I have left.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, I have to definitely make sure that you check that out. We got this link to Scurry Face in the description below. And now, regarding our channel here, on a separate video, we compared Until Dawn with The Quarry that released in 2022, also made by the same game company, Supermassive Games. Though the engine was different. They used Unreal 4. I'm going to ask you guys what your overall thoughts are about this entry and any parallels you can make to this entry and a certain well-known horror movie franchise. Jason, what do you think?
Well, they definitely took a lot of inspiration off the Friday the 13th movies. I actually liked it. I wouldn't say it was a horrible game or anything like that. But yeah, definitely has the Friday the 13th vibes. Um, I don't- I'm trying to remember exactly what, like, if there was any parallels I could even pick out. I mean, I'm sure there are, and I'm just not thinking of them. But between the games, I'm not sure. I mean, other than like the choose your own adventure kind of stuff, like the basic gameplay is kind of the same deals where you gotta keep people or trying to keep people alive unless you want to kill them, of course.
Now, unless I misstated it, I was saying of any parallels you can make to this entry and a certain well-known horror movie
Comparing
franchise.
it to well, that case, yeah, there's a lot that takes place at camp. There's quite a few.
Horny teenagers.
You're not wrong
Yeah,
there.
there's a little bit of that too. Yep. I'm trying to remember if, because of course they didn't do like an actual Jason Voorhees character. Um, God, I'm having a mind blank here. That's the scare. That's the worst part.
Simbu, do you want to rescue him?
Ow, ow, ow!
The werewolves. Yeah, they went werewolves. Yep, that's right. Yeah, they totally leave out the magical fiend from the undead.
Uh, uh-uh.
Uh-oh.
Mm-mm.
I don't remember a Jason Voorhees character that keeps
Well,
coming
no,
back.
no, no. I'm speaking on the fact that they left out the magical fiend of the undead. The werewolves themselves are magical fiends.
Oh
If
well.
you pay attention
Okay.
to the lore of the game, they were created by the Jamie Howes. You might be able to help me out with this one. I know you're bigger on the Quarry than I am. But I
Uh-huh.
could have swore it was a ritual or like a moon drip or something that they used to create to create new werewolves.
Um, I think so. I just know that the woman in it, that was her son. So that's all I can remember, to be honest.
Uh,
I have to play through it again, but I could have swore it was like some kind of a carny ritual or gypsy ritual that
Yeah,
started all with a moon drip, and then
it was like,
they
yeah, it
used
was
to harness the moon drip to
like the family's cursed by it. Yeah.
Yep.
magical undead fiend.
Technically. I
yeah,
just know that I only had like two survivors at the end of that game.
uh, Simbu, how about you? What were your overall thoughts? Thoughts.
Thorts.
What are your thoughts about the Quarry?
Shorts.
Well,
Some
I
more.
better put on my jorts for this one.
You better put the jorts.
His name was John Cena. No. I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't a terrible game. Um Obviously again, my pick out of all six of these games is Until Dawn by far. But I don't know. To me the summer camp and camp counselors, again, I've seen it done, so it's been done. We have how many Friday the 13th movies that do it? You have movies like Sleepaway Camp, and things like that. So it's like, oh, woods, camp. Yeah. Cursed family, that's a new twist. But I mean, I don't know. It didn't grab me, not to mention, again, like for me, if I'm gonna have a game like this, I want to care about at least 80% of the characters in the game. Did not feel that with the Quarry. The
Mm-hmm.
characters didn't, they were like, oh yeah, we kind of all maybe go to the same high school, and there's the couple, the couple that get arrested and whatnot by the one guy, and then there's the one like, oh, I'm the super hot smoking cheerleader babe. Well, I'm the loner goth chick or whatever, and apparently they're like best friends,
Mm-hmm.
which make absolutely no sense because that is not realistic at all. Um, like I said, a lot of those characters just kind of felt 1D. They didn't really feel very, dimensional, so to speak. And there really wasn't much depth other than it's like that. Felt very stereotypy. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Um, Jamie Owls, would you agree with what Simbu said?
Yeah, because the comparison between Until Dawn and the Quarry, I felt like the characters were all like each of them have their own individual traits, and it just seemed like a whole bunch of kids you see in high school of different cliques all hanging out together, which to me sometimes is not really realistic. Whereas Until Dawn, it seems like all the kids in that game seem to be all from the same like friends group.
Yep.
So the Quarry just seems a little like unreal to me.
It kind of makes me think of like the Persona games where you've got all of these different, it's always has to be freaking high school because that's Persona, but the various different cliques that you wouldn't really see getting along, but there was almost always like a common thread that bound them together, and that's what helped like you as the player be able to bond with them because they were bonded by that thread. It kind of sounds like that was missing in the Quarry, whereas that was pre-established
Yeah.
with Until Dawn. You could tell they were all friends in Until Dawn. It wasn't like they were these various stereotypes, cliquish stereotypes in Until Dawn. Maybe there was a little bit, but it wasn't as like as
in
Simbu
your
said,
face
like,
and
oh,
prevalent.
this is the cheerleader chick, this is the goth chick, this is the unlucky couple, or whatever that was. It makes me wonder, like, and I think that's we were talking about in Spooktober how you can really identify with the characters in horror movies themselves, and that's what makes their deaths that much more visceral, overall, like that much more impactful. Um, Storm, do you have any thoughts on any of that I've said, or the Quarry, or anything?
And the Quarry, again, it's another. I have seen you guys play it and I wanted to check it out. And, you know, I no. So the short answer is really no. I have no thoughts. It doesn't make me as excited to try out as Until Dawn. But it's kind of like Simbu said, the whole camp counselor getting chased by some evil mean thing has been
Mm-hmm.
done. And it's been done in movies and video games, and I just kind of like, yeah, I want something a little different than that because old hack and slash, if I want to do that, I can play my Friday the 13th game and as Jason and just, you know, have the real deal thing there, but so maybe if it works, don't break it, but at the same time, maybe break the mold a little bit because we are getting burnt out on some of those
Mm-hmm.
scenarios. So, bring us something new.
Yeah, and that makes sense, and that's really what made Until Dawn special. Was it, like Simba had said, it was a unique monster. It was its own thing. Um, that's what kind of makes the next set of games that we're going to talk about, the Dark Picture anthologies, interesting in that there's a lot of there are some interesting aspects with them, but there's also a lot of the tried and true formula with them. So As mentioned earlier, there's 4 entries. They released annually from 2019 through 2022. Very brief synopsis. Man of Medan, the first one, features nautical themes along with ghostly apparitions. Little Hope features a beginning reminiscent of the movie Ghost Ship, although the series of deaths are nothing if not hilariously ridiculous. Beyond that, there are witch-like themes encompassed within the overall power of the mind. The third one, House of Asses, deals with vampiric aliens from over 6,000 years ago. No, really, you can't make this shit up. And The Devil in Me, the fourth one, features a modern day crew exploring the estate of serial killer H.H. Holmes, who later, this said crew must escape what looks like a similar copycat like serial killer. So, Simbu, I'm going to start with you. Which of these entries that you played did you enjoy the most? Which one was the weakest? And which one was the most ridiculous?
Okay, so let's go in order of your question. We're going number 4 was the best, The Devil in Me. Being from Chicago, being a big fan of true crime and uh, serial killer, serial killer. Oh, how the hell do I say it? Serial killer culture. Um, H.H. Holmes, obviously America's first serial killer. Can't get any better than that. Absolutely enjoyed, the fact that it was like, a painstakingly recreated World's Fair hotel.
Hmm.
So you actually kind of got to see a little bit of some of the hotel as what it was from what they know. Now, a lot of it is going to be fluff and a lot of it's going to be just kind of creative design because, well, the blueprints for Holmes's murder castle mysteriously were destroyed somehow, as well as the whole building mysteriously went up in flames. Mysteriously. Yeah, I'm gonna call BS on all that. That was by design. Somebody wanted that place just burned down, and it was probably some hooligan that did it. What was the next two?
Which one was the weakest, and then which one was the most ridiculous?
Weakest, I'm probably gonna have to go with I'm gonna go with Man of Medan. I'm gonna go with the first one.
Really?
As the weakest. Uh yeah, the characters, they had some interesting, there was, like you had the brothers and the brother sister combo, Flynn, kind of a pointless character in all things other than, Conrad trying to bone her. Other and then, you know, I think that the game could have been just fine without the pirates. I
That's
think the
fair.
pirates really weakened the story because it was good. It had a good story because you had the one guy and his now fiance. They're diving and Conrad and the guy's brother. So and then Flynn, of course. It was a good cast. You didn't need the pirates. Once they got to the Orang Medan, they could have killed off the pirates right then and there, and that would have been a great game. Maybe left the pirate captain alive just to be an extra physical terror on the Medan, but you didn't need like all four of them. In theory, three or four of them. And then most ridiculous is, of course, House of Ashes.
Oh yeah.
100%. Um, Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, well, what about the flashbacks for the Little Hope?" I'm like, Yes, I agree. That's fine. But did you also know that they're flashing back to the Salem witch trials?"
Except are they? Because that's technically, wasn't that all in his mind? Spoiler
True,
alert.
but it's the style of the whole game. Salem witch trials for Little Hope.
I enjoyed Salem Witch Trials Little Hope much more than the cheesy vampires too. So all of my picks are almost like identical to Simbu's on this. He's nailing this on the head.
Oh, Jamie Owls, how about you?
For my favorite one out of the four, I will have to go with Little Hope because I love all things witches. I love Salem witch trials. I consider myself a witch, but
Oh, that's why she's a witch.
yeah,
Let me burn her.
I have an opinion, so I'm a witch. Um, yeah, I like Little Hope and House of Ashes was excuse me, House of Ashes.
You were right the first time. It's okay.
House of Ashes is another good one because I thought the whole vampire slash alien kind of story was wild. It was completely different compared to your typical vampire story. The weakest one I have to agree with Simba was probably House of Medan, or Man of Medan, excuse me. It's just, I don't know, there just didn't seem a lot of jump scares for me. I just like to have them to have more like spooky, scary,
Skeletons send shivers down your spine.
yeah, it didn't do anything for me. I mean, I like all four, but the first one for me was just not the greatest. So,
That's fair. Um, Now, are you guys looking forward to the Dark Pictures upcoming Directive
Yes.
8020?
yeah.
Oh yeah. So I am a little scared on it though, because when we got the first previews for the House of Ashes, I was hoping for a much better storyline than some vampire alien thing. I was hoping there would be like some like Egyptian vampire mummy monster thing that they were going with, since it was out in the deserts in the foreign countries and everything. And yeah, they let me down on that one. So this one, new one, looks like it's kind of going off like the Alien franchise and the Alien movies, and I love those movies. So I'm holding on hope and praying that this one is comes my favorite of the bunch.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's going to be that there's a good reason why there's been a no one of these games for 2023 or 2024, that this is going to be something that is like a step above what
I
these
hope so.
four previous entries. Because I mean, we know what we're getting with these four games. I mean, if anything, it kind of seems like the B movie horror movies themselves that we grew up with it, but just they're video games instead. So yeah, how the whole House of Asses thing is ridiculous. But I mean, you want to tell me like something like Killer Clowns in the Outer Space isn't? So
Hey,
It's not. How many galaxies? How many galaxies have we visited? So scientifically, it could exist.
Never
I mean,
know. The truth is out there.
we've only visited
Schrodinger's galaxy.
737, so
Schrodinger's galaxy. Until we go there, we don't know. Artemis Tau could be Killer Clowns. We don't know. We've never been there.
Jamie Owls, are you also excited for Directive 8020?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm wanting to start playing the second season of the Dark Pictures. I'm not a big fan of space games, but this one I look forward to it because it's a brand new game from them, so it'd be fun.
Excellent. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to say the least. And hopefully Storm, if these games go on sale for like $10 each digitally, maybe you'll be convinced to pick up one or two of them.
Yeah. Well, let's see. What was the House of Asses? Um,
It'd be the
I
last one to pick up.
Yes.
yes. Yeah, that is going to be the last. I do want to check out the
Uh,
one with H.H.
oh,
Holmes.
Devil in Me,
What is
right?
Yep, the
Yes,
devil in me. Yep.
because I like Simbu, have a thing for not a thing for serial killers. It's just their psychology is fascinating. Human psychology is fascinating. So some of them I dig and are my not favorites. God, it's hard to say that you have a favorite serial killer. I do have a favorite. It's Dahmer. Dahmer's my favorite for reasons, but yeah, I would like to check that one out, and I'm adding to my list of want to play. I was just surprised to see the only connection I have to like the House of Ashes is that Ashley Tisdale did a voice for there, and I was surprised because I know her from the damn High School Musical movies on Disney. It's like,
There you go.
that's what she's
Storm,
doing now. Yes.
check the PlayStation Network. Just type in Dark Pictures. I
Okay.
believe there is a season 1 bundle available. Since
Okay.
you don't own any of them,
Right.
I believe there's a season 1 bundle that you can pick up that has all of them.
Okay. I will
Well, Dark
take a look at
Pictures,
that.
Man of Medan, Little Hope, House of Ashes, and Devil in Me might save
Yeah.
you a bit of money doing it that way because I've seen that on sale
Yep.
before.
Uh,
Okay.
it's $100, but right now it's on sale 60% off, 39.99.
Oh wow.
So
I was gonna
$10
say,
per game.
not bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
not,
that
not
I
is.
would
bad at all.
I would jump on that if you can.
If you
Yep.
got the money, absolutely. You get anywhere from decent, which is again Devil in Me, to hilarious. But these are, I do have to say, they are very well designed games, as well as they
Yes.
look very good too. But I definitely look fantastic.
Yeah, I looked at the website for Directive 8020 and it looks decent. The little clip they have up. So that looks exciting and I hope it's as good as Jason the 13th once there for his sci-fi games. I like Jamie Owls and like space games and space theme.
Hmm.
Meh, I'm okay with. Not my favorite. The Witch Trials one of the Dark. Which one is that?
Little Hope.
Little Hope.
Little Hope.
That one's actually really good too.
I would check that one out because I
Yes.
too like Jamie Owls and very witchly. I'm a witch. So the Salem
Hmm.
uh witch trials and all that is very fascinating and like to learn what they did to us all the way back then. But so I'll have to give that a whirl because it's fun to see the trials and stuff pop up still in pop culture items. So at least it still gets, recognition of how horrible humans are to other humans that don't believe the same things.
And look at it this way. Uh, what is it, hundreds of years later, and we haven't really changed that much.
Nope.
It's almost it leaves you with that whole cozy feeling, doesn't it? Just maybe that's the scariest thing of all is the human condition.
Yep.
Although I shouldn't end the cast like that because we do have one more Spooktober episode left. Next Tuesday, Spooktober, and we're going to be talking about our favorite franchise, TV and movie horror franchise video games. And that'll be another one where I know practically nothing because I don't play much of them. Our fantastic cast and crew here will know and will hopefully educate me quite a bit.
Yeah,
So,
it's going to be another one, just like last week's Resident Evil, that's going to add games to my backlog, just like Storm said. Because after last week, I picked up Resident Evil 7 and 8, so
good. You
I
should have
have
had them already.
I have
I
Resident
should have, but
I have Resident Evil 7 downloaded on the PlayStation right
yeah,
now.
nice.
Oh my gosh,
So
you will enjoy that so much. It was watching Jamie Owls played. It was so good. Gosh. Um, but a huge thank you to our fantastic cast and crew, as well as you, our audience. But parting shots, Simbu, go.
Who? What? Who the hell are you people?
Exactly.
your
Is
worst
level
nightmare.
5 Grandpa coming back, or has he been demoted to level 4?
Well, I
All
mean,
right,
we would
all
have a
right.
level 5 grandpa, except, are you even doing that game anymore? I mean, come on.
I booted it up the other a couple weeks ago because they added a new Rush Week thing. I booted it up just to go check it out. But if we want a real parting shot, hey everybody, spoiler alert. Storm's game next week is Friday the 13th.
Yeah, so be ready.
Yep.
Be ready for that. The game that you
I
can't
got
play.
nothing. I got nothing. It really, like, I know. Well, I can play it by myself. I can't play it online with anyone, I think. But unless they already have it,
Hey, you can count Mortal Kombat for a horror game.
I could. But we all know. God, I love Jason. Someday.
It's Friday the 13th. I told you.
Oh, you hear
Yep.
that, Jason? She loves you.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
I'm
that's why
touched.
he may be my favorite of the family that he has.
Sorry,
Just
Simbu.
because.
It's all
Well,
right.
Storm's like, I stand by
I
what I
don't
said.
care.
Well, no,
I hate everybody here anyway, so
Simbu's my favorite asshole. See,
Oh,
Simbu's the favorite
that's right.
asshole. There you go.
we just got demonetized. It's over. Good night,
Nope.
everybody.
I think the
It's the-
cocaine already did it.
Yep.
Although
Hey,
if the Coca-Cola thing didn't already get us, what was that, last week or the week before? Yeah, I don't think that.
We're probably fine now, maybe. And I will feel no pressure to find a new game because that will be my favorite. I've met Freddy. My next goal is to meet Kane Hodder, was my favorite Jason. So, you know. Yeah.
Yes. You definitely need to do that. Make it a mission to meet your
Yep.
favorite horror icons.
Yep. And next time I go to a Mad Monster or an event, I will know to bring cash because the amount of cash only things was very surprising and
Yep.
cut out a lot of what I was able to do. And I was like, really? Okay. I mean, a couple of them took card payment or like Apple Pay, thank goodness. That's how I met Toy Newkirk, who was in Friday. Nope. She was in Nightmare on Elm Street, number 4. She number 4? Yeah, it was number 4. Sorry. I just watched all those too. So it was cool to see her in the film and quote the thing that she signed on my picture. But anyway, we could end this thing.
Yeah, with those Friday movies, I can't wait until I can meet Chris Tucker and Ice Cube. Wait, that's not the same Friday movies.
I love those movies.
Ah,
Those movies are so good.
the first one was the best. I'm sorry.
Yes, absolutely. The other two are okay. The other 2 or 3.
I think there's 4 total now.
Yes. So the first one is definitely the best one.
Yes.
First ones usually are the best.
Yeah. Usually.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There are exceptions, but
Mhm.
I can't be contrarian to that because all the little trilogies in my mind I'm playing in my head. I'm like, see, Matrix, no. Back to the Future, no. Avatar, no. Yeah.
But Friday the 13th sequels are better.
Yes.
Because the first one, Jason's not even in it.
Nope.
yeah, but you get Betsy Palmer.
I mean, she's scary in of herself.
And you have a movie that was rated X by the
Yeah, I know.
by the movie cinema.
Yes. And still, what a great twist for back then, you know?
Really kind of was.
To find out that it was, not Jason, but Mama.
Female lead serial killer, like basically serial killer. Come on.
Yep. It's a great twist. We haven't had a really good twist like that since or until the song.
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
No.
And then
And then that became his whole thing is twists.
Yes.
Yes, every movie had to have at least 12 twists after that.
Yep.
Some good, some bad.
Like playing Final Fantasy X, where there's like a million twists. Jamie L's parting shots.
She
No,
left already.
I have nothing witty
I
to
figured she just
say.
fell asleep.
I have nothing witty to say.
Oh, that's all right. That's why we have Simbu to help, blunt the lack of wit.
That's why my job as a comedian failed.
Oh, that
Poor
just makes me feel
Charles.
bad. I can't
Don't feel
follow
bad.
that. I just feel bad.
Don't feel bad because Jason already failed that course.
I went for that one. I didn't know that.
I mean, you're funny though, not intentionally.
Ah.
I mean, look at that face. I laugh
Yeah.
No, you cry.
Oh.
from laughing so hard.
I was gonna say after sex. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for joining.
There's a parting shot for you.
We will catch you on the next one.